He has won honors in the martial arts and deserved every promotion that he got. Oh, man, wouldn't that jar you? He went high in the air and he hit like the proverbial bag of rice. He hit him right between the eyes. That was a pretty good shot. But Koko is accustomed to using that head of his in his attack. Well, I mentioned his head. Head is not the only weapon. On top is little Koko. There's one. There's two. And there's another one, two. The referee didn't enjoy having people thrown in his... He come up that time with the answer, I'll tell you. I'm a midget wrestling fan, and if I bust out laughing, it's a compliment to those two fellas, because I think every sport should be entertainment as well as being good, solid competition. These fellas are both. So Tokyo's looking for the place to put that shot in, and he found it. And again, as he comes whipping around. On top is Tokyo. There's one, there's two, and, well, Gilbert's playing favorites there. One step would have been enough. Standing up to his full height, he was treating Tokyo with a little bit of disrespect. And Tokyo said, put your own words. So Tokyo and Koko with a side headlock now for Tokyo on the solid head of Mr. Koko. Oh, man, that was a crash. That was a good one. And he stopped him, he hit him, he knocked him, and down went Tokyo. Tokyo's still looking up, trying to find out what he wanted him to look for. He's asking the referee if the light was about to fall. Tokyo hasn't caught on yet. So having made sure that the candelabra are firmly tied to the ceiling, he was ready to go to work, but he went in. He's preoccupied now with the lights above. Oh, and that Tokyo, when he lands, he throws in a solid wallop, whether it's using the edge of the hand in a slashing, chopping fashion, or whether he's coming in there with that fist of his. He gets a good blow, and that, being left-handed, he comes from an angle that most wrestlers don't expect. The majority of wrestlers are right-handed. And right-headed, too. So Tokyo has toppled, and here is Koko looking to throw him. He might come right at you. Stay where you are. And if yes, here he comes. Almost out of the picture and almost in your lap. The fans are calling for another one. That's the avalanche hold. And the avalanche hold is the one that just tossed him across the ring and landed him with great force. So Tokyo now with that barefooted attack of his. But sometimes some of these barefooted wrestlers have powerful feet and such a great deal of thick callus on there from the hours and hours they spend barefoot, why, you begin to wish that they might wear shoes. Retaliation by Koko. And the side headlock. So Koko maneuvering. He got it. He turned him over. There's one. There's two. There's three. Just as slick as can be. Little Koko gets in there with a neat Nelson with his feet and turned him over and held him, and I think Tokyo was more surprised at the suddenness with which it happened than he had a right to be, and he the match.
Look up again. Fulton is good out of that referee's position. He snaps out of it, comes to that arm twist, bringing Mantell to the mat. Want to invite you to stay tuned later on this program. We still have plenty of wrestling action coming your way, and more exciting news about when Houston Wrestling returns to the same Houston Coliseum. We also want to take this opportunity to thank all you wrestling fans out there for watching Houston Wrestling right here on KHTV. Dundee came across that top turnbuckle, which means an automatic disqualification, but referee Carl Fergie didn't see it. Fulton sure felt it, though. Dundee crawled back under the ring. Fulton now is on the receiving end, and this is the toughest position the Fantastics have been all match. Mantell setting him up, and a quick, snappy back suplex. The tag is made. Dundee now. Looked like for a minute he had a notion to go for that shoe baby, that whip of Mantell's. But Carl Fergie was standing there watching him very closely. The lower back, that's the target of Dundee's attack. That was also the target of that drop from that top turnbuckle when Dundee crashed on Fulton. Mantell follows up exactly where Dundee left off. Now Mantell trying to ease Fulton into backbreaker. You can see it on our side that Mantell trying to get a little bit of extra leverage by holding onto the tights, trying to deny Fulton any kind of movement. Dundee's in the ring, and Dundee kicks. Boy, he drove that boot right into the face of Fulton. Rogers now a little bit hot and upset. Dundee and Mantell have been able to manipulate the referee. Now Superstar in the ring. Well-placed elbow. Fulton now is starting to show that fight-back spirit that wrestling fans here in Houston have become accustomed. But it's hard to fight 2-on-1. Rogers comes in. He's had enough. He decides that he's going to get things under control. Fulton outside the ring. And Tommy Rogers now. Going after Mantell. Outside the ring, we've got Dundee using that whip on Fulton. And as Dundee retreats, Rogers is hot after his trail. As Mantell and Dundee taking full advantage of any kind of break in this match. As Fulton lays hurt on the Coliseum floor. Rogers slowly bringing him up. Rogers protesting the referee, but there's no avail. Mantell working over Fulton. This is one fall to a finish. Mantell with the arm twist. He's trying his best to hold back Fulton, and the tag was not made. They came within inches, but no tag was made, which is bad news for Bobby Fulton and the Fantastics. You could see the blood coming out of Fulton's mouth. Those wallops of Dundee going right after that mouth that they've cut open. As Fulton now caught up in the ropes. Dundee trying to egg Rogers in, but Mantell, keep an eye on Mantell. He's got that whip. And that's exactly what Mantell's doing. He's using that whip on Fulton. You saw the strategy unfold. Dundee took the attention of both Rogers and the referee. Mantell and Dundee finding it impossible to out-wrestle him, trying to find some way to score victory. Close-up shot of Fulton. Fulton's caught in a bad way. Again, that whip across the back. A lot of punishment taken by Fulton. Mantell's on top. We got one, we've got two, and we've got no. I thought we had it. The last split second, Fulton was able to lift that shoulder to keep this match going. The chant starts to pick up behind us. Go, Bobby, go. Go, Bobby, go. They know now that Fulton's fighting on instinct. He's fighting on that desire to bounce back. Mantell's a vicious grappler. Especially when Dundee and Mantell smell the kill. They're like killer sharks. They smell the kill and they attack their opponents. Dundee on top. We've got two, but no three. And that's what's keeping this match alive. They have not been able to keep Fulton out for the 3 count. Dundee on the second rope. Now that is legal. But what he didn't expect is that he didn't expect Fulton to get out of the way. Bobby Fulton misses a charming maneuver. Tommy Rogers. And Rogers explodes into the ring. Rogers has been spending these last few minutes agonizing with his partner Fulton. That is beautiful crutch hold and looks for the slam him, and he found it. They're setting Rogers up. They miss again, and Rogers now catches them in a crossbody block. We got 1, 2, 3. We got it. The Fantastics have won the match. Bobby Fulton, Tommy Rogers have won the match. So the Fantastics have won the match. Right now the match is over. The fight is beginning to take place. The fighting hasn't stopped. Fergie is down. We've got Fulton being hung by the bullwhip. Dundee is hanging Fulton by the bullwhip. The referee is down. Mantell just holding Rogers, and Fulton just collapsed to the Coliseum floor. And now the whip ends. Rogers caught up in the ropes. The bell has sounded. The match is over. The Fantastics have won it, but Mantell whipping them with that whip. We heard it pop throughout the building here. As everything is busted loose here, the match is over. As they have whipped Tommy Rogers, they set up Fulton, and they come across with a back off Fulton with that whip. The bell keeps sounding, the referee is down, and now the choking of the whip. And look at them, they're both using it now. Both of them pulling on Fulton's neck. Fulton reaching out in desperation. As Bill Dundee and Dutch Mantell continue to use the whip. The match is over, but the damage has been done by Dundee and Mantell. And Rogers fighting back until he finds the butt of that whip. Mantell still not satisfied. They set up Rogers. Dundee aims and fires away again across the back of Rogers. The match is over. The Fantastic have won the match. But the battle after the bell went to Dundee and Dutch Mantell due to Shoe Baby, the bullwhip. We'll be back with more wrestling action in just one moment.
Perez in. That Perez has got a tremendous right hand. When he gets fired up, he will uncork it on you. And Perez firing away. Perez firing away. Wendell Cooley popping away, trying to get it to help his partner. It's a Donnybrook right now, Boyd Pierce. These youngsters have stayed in there. My hat's off to them. Belly to back suplex. Belly, he's got Dr. Death. He's got Dr. Death, but Sweetan. Behind the referee's back, Sweetan saved Dr. Death. Sweetan saved Dr. Death. He's getting out of the arena. Cooley drop kicking Sweetan. Cooley drop kicks Sweetan. Dr. Death just blasted Wendell Cooley. Looks like he's frustrated more than anything. Al Perez, the legal man in the ring. Dr. Death setting Al Perez up and going for the... Al Perez caught him with an elbow. Dr. Death was going for the stampede, but Al Perez caught him. Sweetan now going over on Perez. They're fighting. Dr. Death going for the stampede on Cooley. Dr. Death has slipped off. He's confused out there. He hit him again. 1, 2, 3. They've won the title. They've won the title. Al Perez with that belly to back. They won the Mid-South Tag Team title. They won the titles. This place is pandemonium. They can't believe it.
Listen to the fans.
They can't believe it. They can't believe it.
Listen to these fans here as the new Mid-South Tag Team champions Al Perez and Wendell Cooley.
New Mid-South Tag champions. Boy, I'll tell you, I don't believe it. I didn't think it would happen, but it can happen anytime, any place. It only takes 3 seconds, and you can become a star.
South Wrestling, Jim Ross and Joel Watts at ringside. There you see the referee, Tommy Gilbert, showing those beautiful Mid-South Tag Team title belts. It's going to be on the line right here, those championships. Wendell Cooley and Al Perez, the new Mid-South Tag Champions, will defend the titles against a massive team that Akbar has assembled. And Kareem Muhammad, who's starting with Al Perez and the lightning arm drag. One-man gang is Kareem Muhammad's partner. The title's on the line.
Al Perez quickly fired Kareem Muhammad across the ring with those arm drags. Kareem Muhammad kicking the ropes and complaining to referee Carl Ferguson, saying the tights were pulled. Perez is as fine of a technical wrestler as you'll find anywhere in the sport. He definitely has the basics down. There they go to the headlock. Kareem Muhammad goes to the ropes and tags his partner, the one-man gang. Oh, the gang with a hard forearm across the lung and chest area. And can you imagine the momentum he builds? But Perez goes behind the body slam. One-man gang takes him off the ropes. Perez's quickness is really baffling the one-man gang, I think.
Well, many wrestling fans said that when Perez and Cooley won the Mid-South Tag titles, it was a tremendous upset, and that they were the underdogs. Well, perhaps they are the underdogs again. As far as physical size is concerned, of course, you have to contend with General Skandor Akbar on the outside. As far that team there, Al Perez and Wendell Cooley, you see Cooley coming in, the tag was made. Their up-tempo strategy, and with the support of the fans, I think we're going to see quite a Donnybrook.
There, Kareem Muhammad quickly attacking Wendell Cooley. He just came on the attack. Oh, Cooley with a drop kick. Wendell, Wildcat Cooley, quickly up for that drop kick. Kareem Muhammad managed to gain a little bit of momentum on Cooley by coming straight at him, using that mass and that momentum.
We saw Kareem Muhammad with a very baffled look on his face. There he is with General Skandor Akbar getting a little strategy there. Akbar mapping out his game plan. Akbar is a master of setting up his strategy and executing his game plan. There you see the tag. Perhaps Akbar told him to tag the one-man gang. The one-man gang you see on, based out of Dallas now, his manager Gary Hart. Akbar has hired him for a series of matches, this being one of them.
Cooley firing back to the midsection of the gang. One-man gang attacking the eye area, though. He takes Cooley back into the corner. Classic tag team strategy in action. The one-man gang is really hammering Wendell Cooley. And you know, Jim, I think Wendell Cooley and Al Perez were underdogs in their match against the former Mid-South Tag Team champions. But I think in this match, they could be considered by many people to be underdogs as well. Kareem Muhammad with the lateral press. Wendell Cooley kicks out from underneath 400 pounds.
There's a tag.
That's a statement in itself, Jim. Cooley attacking Kareem, but he's still in the corner of these two behemoths.
Well, that apparently is Akbar's strategy to slow down the pace of this match. Let his massive team use their weight, keep their opponents in their part of the ring, and wear them down. Now remember, this match is one fall or television remaining. Same situation, Joe, we had last week, and Cooley and Perez's great conditioning, I think, was a great factor in the decision that was rendered in that match.
No doubt about it, Jim. And of course, it's a great testament to Grizzly Smith, our matchmaker, for getting this Mid-South Tag Team title match right here on television. I think only on Mid-South. You see such a great main event. Right off the bat, Kareem Muhammad goes for that big right cross, but misses on Cooley. You can see him holding his hand in pain. One-man gang attacking that chest area. As we saw earlier in the hour, Akbar extremely confident.
They're really working on the back of Wendell Cooley, Kareem Muhammad with a knee, and the one-man gang going for that big splash. And Cooley, luckily for him and his partner Al Perez in the Mid-South Tag titles away.
Well, Cooley's got a lot of quickness, but he's also got a lot of heart. Perez in now. Perez in. He's got that big right cross cooking on him. Brother, he's got him rocked. Down goes Kareem Muhammad. He's got the gang in the ropes. He's got the gang in the ropes, but watch out from behind Al. Oh, 400 pounds right into the kidney area. So painful. It's excruciating. Another one-man gang is holding Wendell Cooley and both of them.
Al Perez in the ring. Cooley was thrown outside by Kareem Muhammad, ladies and gentlemen. And they have got the Mid-South Tag Team champions in deep trouble. Akbar has some more strategy. They're going to try to seize the moment of where they're setting him up.
He's holding Perez. So far, their quickness has been a thorn in the side of the Cooley one-man gang, but I think they're trying to monopolize on the mask. But there, Wendell Cooley has got a hold of Al Perez, and he pulled him out of the way. Pulled Kareem Muhammad into the one-man gang, hit Kareem Muhammad. Cooley puts Perez on top for the lateral press. Oh! The fans are on their feet.
This crowd is going wild. What a victory for Al Perez and Wendell Cooley. They retain the Mid-South Tag Championship, and Akbar is really chastising the one-man gang.
Akbar is chastising the one-man gang, but whoa! The Zambuli attacking the one-man gang. The Zambuli is attacking the one-man gang. Skandor Akbar trying to break it up. These are two of his allies. The gang's got the chain. The gang's got the chain, but Zambuli.
Akbar is trying to separate these two men. Kareem Muhammad is standing his ground, the one-man gang. The protege of Gary with that chain. The people are standing. These two big, huge men staring each other down. I don't know what the one-man gang said, but it was some very, very pointed words of Skandor Akbar. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. We'll be back with Jake the Snake Roberts versus the Nightmare right after this from Mid-South Network. Mid-South Wrestling. There's the bell. Jake the Snake Roberts set to go against the Masked Nightmare. The man with the DDT, Jake the Snake Roberts, really becoming a fan favorite. You see those DDT shirts all over the Mid-South area, Joel. And this man with that one single maneuver separates him from all the competition. But he's in there against a double tough individual, a man that we know nothing about, the Masked Nightmare.
This is certain. Listen to those people. They're really good behind Jake the Snake Roberts. As he said before, Jim, that DDT has set Jake Roberts apart. He was the inventor of that hold. There he goes for it. He goes for it, and the Nightmare wisely gets out of the ring. Jim, listen to those people. DDT.
They love it. You can almost see Jake Roberts' adrenaline begin to flow every time he hears those words. And Sir Oliver Humperdinck, I'm sure, quite obviously, has scouted this man, Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake retaliating. I'll tell you, he knows as many dirty tricks as anybody else because he has used them upon occasion. Listen to these people. They love that man. The man with a DDT, Jake the Snake Roberts. Humongous standing with Sir Oliver Humperdinck at ringside. His bodyguard, let's say, at this point in time. He's with him at all time.
Well, this is certainly a big match. But there again, Jake the Snake goes for that DDT, but the Nightmare takes him to the turnbuckle. The DDT sometimes requires some momentum on the opponent.
Tremendous velocity there. He really hit that corner, Joel.
He really did, and as I was saying, this is a big match for Sir Oliver Humperdinck because he wants that North American title back in his stable. And in order to stay in top contention for the North American title, this is a big match for the Nightmare. It's also a big match for Jake the Snake Roberts. And it is definitely a main event in any part of the country, any arena. Bear hug. And quickly, the people are getting behind Jake the Snake Roberts. They're solidly behind him.
You heard Jake Roberts saying no, referee Carl Fergie. This is definitely a submission maneuver, especially when you've got big tree-like arms like the Nightmare. But Jake Roberts, I can't...
Looks like he was going for that mask, Jim. Good strategy on the part of Jake the Snake because it forced the Nightmare to break that hold. The Nightmare quick back to the attack again.
We've seen him on more than one occasion, Joel. The Nightmare, he walked right into that big foot of Jake the Snake Roberts. The Nightmare doesn't like anybody having anything to do with this mask as Jake Roberts fights right back.
He's got him rocked, but the Nightmare raking the eyes off the ropes with the arm whip. Jake the Snake with that big knee. Jake the Snake with that big knee, and now both men are down. The Nightmare's going to his trunks. He's putting something in his mask. He has loaded that foreign object into the mask, and he pounds Jake the Snake with it. Jake the Snake going limp, but he's still on his feet. 3 times he hit Jake.
He held him up there. Mask. There's no doubt about it. He's got something in that mask. Here comes Eddie Gilbert. You can hear Eddie Gilbert protesting to the official. He has something in his mask. Jake Roberts has been lacerated, ladies and gentlemen, from those headbutts. And now look.
The Nightmare's handing that foreign object back to Sir Oliver Humperdinck. Whatever it was, it's going to be hard for Carl Fergie to find out about it at this point in time. A key move on the part of the Nightmare. He has really got Jake the Snake Roberts in a deep, deep predicament.
Well, Eddie Gilbert, the former manager of the Nightmare, until he was Humperdinck replaced him. He knows the strategy. DDT!
It's the DDT. The fans are going wild. Jake the Snake with the lateral press. 2 and 3. Yeah!
The people are standing. Roberts, he came back and he's severely lacerated, and he's going for the mask.
Jim, he knows there was something in that mask.
He took it off.
He got it. And Eddie Gilbert has got a hold of Humongous. Humongous trying to get into the ring. Jake the Snake Roberts has got Sir Oliver Humperdinck in the ring. Here goes Humongous. He's coming over that top rope. Jake the Snake throws the Nightmare out. Here goes the Barbarian.
Yes, sir. Now the sides are even. This is what they've been waiting for. These two big monsters staring each other down. Humperdinck was brought to the ring. They're standing.
Jake the Snake has got the score even now. But Humperdinck motioning towards Jake the Snake. What's happened? What's happening?
doing? They're trying to annihilate Jake the Snake Roberts, and they're doing it.
He's got him up. Oh! A clothesline off the second rope. Jake the Snake Roberts is in very bad danger.
They're trying.
They are coming to ringside. This Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to restore some order. We got to get out of this situation. We've got to get this back together. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Match here on Mid-South Wrestling. You saw that tremendous video. The man in the ring, Humongous. He is, without a doubt, one of the most awesome creatures in professional wrestling. And there you sounds, and Humongous not wasting any time, Joel. This man is a machine, and now with the situation with he and the Barbarian together, well, it's hard to describe what could happen.
Jim, the electricity from that event is still in the air, and the crimson is still on the mask of Humongous as he carries the attack to Mike Thorn.
Humongous, over 300 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. It seems to be impervious to pain.
Arm whip and a clothesline. This man is so awesome.
There you hear Oliver Humperdinck saying decapitate, and just Humongous using his tremendous strength to power up Mike Thorn, and he's no small man. He's got to be in the 260 to 270 pound range. A vicious body slam as Mike Thorn is helpless. Humongous is having his way, and then the shin.
There's that Shin-Onamaki, a deadly Oriental hold. And with the power of Humongous, it's got to be one of the most dangerous holds in wrestling, and he won't break it. Sir Oliver Humperdinck appears to be the only man that can make Humongous break this hold. Jim, this could be fatal.
He's got to get the hold broke. It's mysterious. Oliver Humperdinck, in some shape, form, or fashion, their hold was broken. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with Dirty Dutch Mantell and Superstar Dundee against Jimmy Backlund and Mark Ragin after this word from the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Network. Mid-South Wrestling, Jim Ross and Joel Watts at ringside as Superstar Bill Dundee. And Dirty Dutch Mantell prepare to go against Mark Ragin and Jimmy Backlund here on Mid-South Wrestling. A lot of casualties, Joel. They had to help Mike Thorn to the dressing room. We still haven't a report on Jake as of yet.
Well, the action's going to be hot and heavy in the ring because all four of the men in the ring, extremely fast-paced grapplers. Mark Ragin and Superstar Bill Dundee. And Jim, it's really been mayhem thus far on the show, as you were mentioning earlier.
Well, Dundee used the hair of Mark Ragin to take him over. Good positioning by the official as he made him break the hold. There you see the tag. Dundee with a cheap shot with Mark Ragin, and Dirty Dutch Mantell seizing the opportunity, but Ragin kicking up. He's a fine athlete, Mark Ragin.
He most certainly is. A great amateur background out of New York State, a fine young athlete, and a really good guy, a genuine fellow. Jimmy Backlund, also a man with a great amateur experience, but he's up against a man who is a very accomplished professional. And what a suplex!
High impact. That's Dutch Mantell's style, and there's no one any better. He is sudden. The little opportunist, the man with the biggest ego in wrestling, Superstar Bill Dundee. And Joe, to my knowledge, he's the only man, full-size man, to ever be beaten by a midget in Mid-South history, and the victory for little Koko still stands.
Most certainly does, Jim, and I think that point really sticks in the craw of Superstar Bill Dundee, and he certainly feels like he has not settled the score with Bobby Fulton or Tommy Rogers yet. Dutch Mantell with repeated elbows to the chest and lung area of Jimmy Backlund, and frankly, Jim, it looked as if Dutch Mantell had Backlund knocked unconscious with that suplex, but Dundee and Mantell continuing to apply the punishment. They are vicious, vicious wrestlers. Do not be deceived. These two men will hurt you.
They certainly will. They know all the tricks, all the shortcuts. Now, setting Jimmy Backlund. MX, and that should be all she wrote for Jimmy Backlund. They don't get up from that one, ladies and gentlemen. Superstar Bill Dundee and Dirty Dutch Mantell the victors, and we'll be back with Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert versus El Corsario right after this.
Before this match starts, General Skandor Akbar has asked to make an announcement.
One more time, people of Mid-South, I want to demonstrate to you this man's awesome martial arts ability and another awesome demonstration, so watch carefully.
So we saw this man's skills exhibited just a few weeks ago here on Mid-South Wrestling. He is a tremendous martial arts expert. His hands, his feet, and his head, tremendous weapon. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert looking very intently at this situation. He'll be facing El Corsario in a few moments. El Corsario concerned about, I guess he wants Eddie to get in a position where he can really get a good look at.
Not only that, he has to position Akbar and the referee correctly, because it really takes a lot of pressure to hold those boards. So you can imagine Corsario preparing.
A lot of mental preparation. Oh! He hit Eddie Gilbert with a judo chop, but you can hear all over the building. Fergie has called for the bell. Carl Fergie has called for the bell. That karate kick caught Gilbert right in the throat. It caught him right in the throat.
He is attacking Gilbert. Gilbert has not even been unable to get out of the blocks. He's applying some kind of a hold to the neck of Gilbert. Look.
He chops the neck, and now he's got that claw. That claw right on the neck. The referee's calling for the bell.
Crimson around the mouth of Eddie Gilbert.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the referee's calling for the bell, but Eddie Gilbert has been hurt, and I mean hurt bad. El Corsario.
El Corsario continuing to attack an already obliterated Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
Eddie Gilbert didn't get in out of the starting blocks, and he needs some help. Eddie Gilbert, now the referee goes down. Those vicious chops. El Corsario is a walking weapon.
We're trying to get some help down here. This could really be dangerous for Eddie Gilbert. He's continuing to put the chokehold on him, even after. There's Mark Ragin, he's in, but there's not much you can do against this man.
Here come the Fantastics. El Corsario, General Skandor Akbar are heading for higher ground, but Eddie Gilbert is hurt. He's bleeding from the mouth. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. We'll be right back with the Fantastics against Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Bruiser Bob Sweetan after this word from the exciting Mid-South Network for our fifth standby match. The Fantastics, you hear the music, ZZ Top in the background. It brings on Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, and they'll be going against the former Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Bruiser Bob Sweetan. There you see one of the most popular teams ever in Mid-South, the Fantastics. They love their fans, but Joe, they're going to be in there with a very angry team, and Bob Sweetan and Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
Well, Jim, this is going to be an important main event, because both of these tag teams are desperately struggling to gain those Mid-South Tag Team titles. As we heard Al Perez and Wendell Cooley say earlier in the hour, those are probably the most prestigious tag team belts in the entire country. Tag team competition in the Mid-South is so hot, it's been at a fever pitch for quite some time now. There you see a great example of it. The Fantastics, two of the premier athletes in tag team wrestling. And of course, Dr. Death and Bruiser Bob Sweetan, former Mid-South Tag Team champions. Out on the trail, they're quickly attacking the Fantastics. Fantastics not even out of their wrestling gear yet. Arm whip. Both men with drop kicks. And Sweetan and Williams are hitting the road
once again. Dr. Death, there you see him. He was drop kicked right in the face by one of the Fantastics, Tommy Rogers, as Rogers and Fulton finally get the opportunity to get their ring jackets off. Referee Tommy Gilbert having his words with Sweetan and Williams, saying, I want one man from each team and one man only in the ring. Remember, this match is one fall or television time remaining, ladies and gentlemen.
Collar and elbow tie-up. You can hear that young lady's really getting behind Tommy Rogers. Whoa, Rogers, beautiful move. What a maneuver. Tommy Rogers went up and over the top. I don't think Sweetan were expecting that.
I think we have obviously two very contrasting styles as far as these teams are concerned. The Fantastics have to use their speed and quickness. Dr. Death and Steve Williams and Bruiser Bob Sweetan, they have to use their strength and their savvy. Body press, near fall there. There's a tag, and Dr. Death is finally in the ring legally.
Dr. Death circling Tommy Rogers. There you see on the outside of the ring, Superstar Bill Dundee. Dundee still down at ringside. He has wounds that have not healed yet from the Fantastics.
Mr. Ego, Superstar Bill Dundee there, motioning to the referee. He's only here as a cheerleader.
Hopefully. There's the tag. Bobby Fulton then. He stops the arm of Dr. Death and pulls to the side headlock. And a takeover. Dr. Death down on the canvas. But it's going to take more than a headlock to pin Dr. Death. I can guarantee you that. Death up to his face. Off the ropes, Dr. Death fires Bobby Fulton. Fulton with a collision, but there the drop kick takes Death off his feet. Bobby Fulton is so quick. These two men are, Jim, it's been said before, they're not quick, they are sudden.
They certainly are, as the referee, Tommy Gilbert's having his problem with Superstar Bill Dundee, who really has no business whatsoever inside the barricade. And that's my opinion, Joel, but he's not, has any function here in this match other than just as a fan.
I agree, Jim. He certainly has no business being out there. But it seems at this point that he's just cheering on Dr. Death and Bruiser Bob Sweetan. Bobby Fulton thrown hard into the turnbuckle there by Sweetan. A hard forearm section. Sweetan continuing to apply the punishment, and there, teaming up with Dr. Death in the knee, Tommy Gilbert, distracted once again by Bill Dundee. I think Dundee's function in this match as a distraction could be to the disadvantage of Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers. And once again, I'd like to point out that he has no business being there. Dr. Death's got him up hard into the turnbuckle.
He is a brute. He just takes him, sprints across the ring, and drops him. He drops him. Fulton is in trouble. 1, 2, and he kicks out. We had a long 2 count there. A near fall, and Fulton's trying to fight back against that brute, Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
Fulton needs to make the tag. Sweetan and Dr. Death have really gained a lot of momentum in a quick period of time against the Fantastics, but Fulton out of the way, and Dr. Death hit his elbow really hard on the canvas. Both men getting up slowly. Tommy Gilbert with a double count. Fulton, groggy, slowly getting up from his knees. Dr. Death to make that tag. Here comes Sweetan, and oh no! Look at that, Sweetan hammering Tommy Rogers from the outside, but that could have been a psychological tactic to get the referee distracted.
You can hear Dundee down there. Dundee wants him stampede.
Hard into the turnbuckles goes Fulton, and Dr. Death with a shoulder deep into the midsection of Bobby Fulton. And once again, I say that Bobby Fulton is in a deep predicament. Bobby Fulton reverses the arm whip. He goes up. He makes the tag, and he's set for a flying head scissors. Tommy Rogers into the ring. We've got all 4 men in the ring. Tommy Rogers is so lightning quick with those drop kicks, and brother, he can punish you with them. Fulton and Rogers now hammering away with rights and lefts and drop kicks, using their body as a weapon. They get an arm whip on Dr. Death, a drop kick, and there goes Tommy Gilbert out of the ring. Bobby Fulton kicks Sweetan out of the ring.
Tommy Rogers out of the ring, and we've only got 2 men left. Bill Dundee's attacking Tommy Rogers on the floor.
Dundee's taunting him. Rogers, Fulton goes out. Dundee was taunting, but Dundee went down.
Tommy Rogers got him pinned. He's got him pinned. But Dr. Death pulls him up, and wow! He really leveled Bill Dundee.
Dr. Death loaded the arm brace. He loaded the arm brace, and he let Rogers have it. He loaded the arm brace, and I saw it, and so did you at home. 1, 2, and 3, and Sweetan. Sweetan and Dr. Death are the winners, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, we're going to have a special video on Al Perez. Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch will be back for our home Mid-South current. South Wrestling, Jim Ross and Joel Watts at ringside. There you see the referee, Tommy Gilbert, showing those beautiful Mid-South Tag Team title belts. It's going to be on the line, those championships. Wendell Cooley and Al Perez, the new Mid-South Tag Champions, will defend the titles against a massive team that Akbar has assembled. And Kareem Muhammad, who's starting with Al Perez and the lightning arm drag. One-man gang and Kareem Muhammad's partner. The title's on the line.
Al Perez quickly fired Kareem Muhammad across the ring with those arm drags. Kareem Muhammad kicking the ropes and complaining to referee Carl Fergie, saying the tights were pulled. Perez is as fine of a technical wrestler as you'll find anywhere in the sport. He definitely has the basics down. There they go to the headlock. Kareem Muhammad goes to the ropes and tags his partner, the one-man gang. Oh, the gang with a hard forearm across the lung and chest area. Can you imagine the momentum he builds? But Perez goes behind the body slam. One-man gang takes him off the ropes. Perez's quickness is really back to Man Gang, I think.
Well, many wrestling fans said that when Perez and Cooley won the Mid-South Tag titles, it was a tremendous upset, and that they were the underdogs. Well, perhaps they are the underdogs again. As far as physical size is concerned, of course, you have to contend with General Skandor Akbar on the outside. But thus far, that team there, Al Perez and Wendell Cooley, you see Cooley coming in, the tag was made. Their up-tempo strategy, and with the support of the fans, I think we're going to see quite a Donnybrook.
There, Kareem Muhammad quickly attacking Wendell Cooley. He just came by the attack. Oh, Cooley with a drop kick. Wendell, Wildcat Cooley, quickly up for that drop kick. Kareem Muhammad managed to gain a little bit of momentum on Cooley by coming straight at him, using that mass and that momentum.
We saw Kareem Muhammad with a very baffled look on his face. There he is with General Skandor Akbar getting a little straight there. Akbar mapping out his game plan. Akbar is a master of setting up his strategy and executing his game plan. There you see the tag. Perhaps Akbar told him to tag the one-man gang. The one-man gang you see on, based out of Dallas now, his manager Gary Hart. Akbar has hired him for a series of matches, this being one of them.
Cooley firing back to the midsection of the gang. One-man gang attacking the eye area, though. He takes Cooley back into the corner. Classic tag team strategy in action. The one-man gang is really hammering Wendell Cooley. And you know, Jim, I think Wendell Cooley and Al Perez were underdogs in their match against the former Mid-South Tag Team champions. But I think in this match, they could be considered by many people to be underdogs as well. Kareem Muhammad with the lateral press. Wendell Cooley kicks out from underneath 400 pounds.
There's a tag.
That's a statement in Jim. Cooley attacking Kareem, but he's still in the corner of these two behemoths.
Well, that apparently is Akbar's strategy to slow down the pace of this match. Let his massive team use their weight, keep their opponents in their part of the ring, and wear them down. Now remember, this match is one fall or television time remaining. Same situation, Joe, we had last week, and Cooley and Perez's great conditioning, I think, was a great factor in the decision that was rendered in that match.
No doubt about it, Jim. And of course, it's a great testament to Grizzly Smith, our matchmaker, for getting this Mid-South Tag Team title match right here on television. I think only on Mid-South. This is such a great main event. Right off the bat, Kareem Muhammad goes for that big right cross, but misses on Cooley. You can see him holding his hand in pain. One-man gang attacking that chest area. As we saw earlier in the hour, Akbar extremely confident.
They're really working on the back of Wendell Cooley, Kareem Muhammad with a knee, and one-man gang going for that big splash. And Cooley, luckily for him and his partner Al Perez, and the Mid-South tag titles rolled out of the way.
Well, Cooley's got a lot of quickness, but he's also got a lot of heart. Perez in now. Perez in. He's got that big right cross cooking on him. Brother, he's got him rocked. Down goes Kareem Muhammad. He's got the gang in the ropes. He's got the gang in the ropes, but watch out from behind Al. Oh. Oh, 400 pounds right into the kidney area. So painful. It's excruciating. Another one-man gang is holding Wendell Cooley and both of them.
Al Perez in the ring. Cooley was thrown outside by Kareem Muhammad, ladies and gentlemen. And they have tag team champions in deep trouble. Akbar, some more strategy. They're going to try to seize the moment of where they're setting him up.
He's holding Perez. So far, their quickness has been a thorn in the side of the Barbarian one-man gang, but I think they're trying to monopolize on the mass. But there, Wendell Cooley has got a hold of Al Perez, and he pulled him out of the way. Pulled Kareem Muhammad into the one-man gang, hit Kareem Muhammad. Cooley puts Perez on top for the lateral press. Oh! The fans are on their feet.
This crowd is going wild. What a victory for Al Perez and Wendell Cooley. They retain the Mid-South Tag Championship, and Akbar is really chastising the one-man gang.
Akbar is chastising the one-man gang, but whoa! The Zambuli attacking the one-man gang. The Zambuli is attacking the one-man gang. Skandor Akbar trying to break it up. These are two of his allies. The gang's got the chain. The gang's got the chain, but Zambuli.
Akbar is trying to separate these two men. Kareem Muhammad is standing his ground, the one-man gang. The protege of Gary Hart with that chain. The people are standing. These two big, huge men staring each other down. I don't know what the one-man gang said, but it was some very, very pointed words of Skandor Akbar. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. We'll be back with Jake the Snake Roberts versus the Nightmare right after this from Mid-South Network.
Steel barricade. And Barbarian now showing what has made him such a feared, dangerous wrestler. You're seeing Reed now down on the floor. Barbarian's up in the ring. As Reed has taken a tremendous amount of punishment. But Reed, with his well-conditioned body, is able to take it, but how long can you stay under the attack of the Barbarian and still be able to continue the match? Barbarian comes across with that roundhouse right of his, setting Reed up, misses with a clothesline, and that's good news. That's bad news. Reed was able to miss the clothesline, but he had a big, big boot waiting for him right in the face, right in the kisser. Hacksaw Butch, the TV champion, coming very close to losing that title and the prestige that goes with it. Unique hairstyle of Barbarian, but who is going to make fun of it? Certainly not this announcer or anybody who has stepped in the ring with the Barbarian, because you gain a respect. You may not like his style, you may think it's controversial, you may think he should be barred, but you better respect just what he can do to your body. Reed was fighting back, but Barbarian pulled the tights. We saw it on our side. Fergie, unfortunately, was on the other side and couldn't catch him in the act. See the powerful upper body of Barbarian. Man who trains hard. Both of these athletes train. It's part of their lives. They take pride in that well-conditioned power of theirs. as both men are going to test it to the full extent tonight. I'd like to remind you that Houston Wrestling returns to the Coliseum on Friday, September 27th. The Sam Houston Coliseum, the home of Houston Wrestling. Reed slowly but surely trying to get into a position where he can try to get out of the hold. That squeeze by Barbarian is a type hold that Barbarian has enough power to make that hold into a submission hold. That time, the cameraman for Cage TV caught Barbarian right in the act of pulling that hair. As Fergie now saw enough evidence, he's calling for the break. This would have been one case where the wrestling referee could have used an instant replay to shot for sure. Barbarian keeping up his attack. He knows he's got to stay on the offensive. Reed misses, crotch hold, and a double slam as he came him across. Barbarian now aims but misses. Barbarian took just a little bit too long at coming across with those elbows. This is giving Reed those precious few seconds to try to recuperate. But Reed is setting up Barbarian, and the Barbarian came off slow, but you see how Reed ducked his shoulder under him to make sure he was able to get the whole big man up in the air.
10 minutes gone in the match.
10 minutes are gone by in this match for the TV title, the Mid-South TV title. Current champion, Hacksaw Butch Reed, doing the punches. The challenger, the Barbarian, the man who's catching it. As Reed now trying desperately to turn the tide of this battle. And that is going to help him. Reed now going across those punches. Fergie trying to stop Reed from using them, but this is a tight match that the referee would do best just to step back and let them battle it out. Flying Butch Reed missed, and his head snapped on a rubber-coated steel cables. A vicious landing for Reed. As you can see, Barbarian taking full advantage of the miscue by Reed. Comes up, and there goes the backbreaker. There goes the backbreaker. And Reed reversed it. Beautiful, beautiful move. Beautiful. We've got a winner. Beautiful move by the champion.
The winner of the match, and still the Mid-South TV title holder, Hacksaw Butch Reed.
So you saw the champion, Hacksaw Butch Reed, use some of that ring savvy he possesses in a beautiful move to beat the Barbarian and remain the champion. We'll be back after this important message. And this match is underway. It's an A-train tough guy fight. First 90 seconds of this match is used to tie up the opponents, the combatants in this battle, which is going to be General Skandor Akbar and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Now, the rules state there'll be 90 seconds used to be tied by the respective agents. And what happens is the bell at that 90 seconds, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan is going to have to untie himself to defend himself against General Skandor Akbar. But General Skandor Akbar is receiving the same treatment across the ring as Wendell Cooley is quickly tying up General Skandor Akbar. Now, what happens is once the bell sounds, the man who can get loose first has a distinct advantage in this battle. And this is a battle that was called for to settle the feud. But as you're going to see, the feud was not settled, but it will be this Friday night when General Skandor Akbar's Kamala, the Ugandan giant, 400 pounds of savage animal Kamala, locked inside a steel cage against this individual you're watching right now, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, loser leave town. Wendell Cooley still going to work, trying his best to help out his friend Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He wants to make sure that General Akbar is not able to untie himself before Duggan is able to. Fans in the Coliseum, this is the first time ever in Houston wrestling, an A-train tough guy fight. You can hear Cleat Dumpster giving the countdown. Then there it is, Duggan wasting little time and sending El Corsario to the Coliseum floor, and he starts right away untying the rope. And Duggan now reaching in, takes a quick glance over, see how General Skandor Akbar is doing, as both men frantically try to get the ropes untied so they're able to attack their opponent. Look at Duggan. He's resorting to biting the rope, tearing at it any way he can. He wants his hands on General Akbar. This has been a dream of his for months and months to be able to finally even a score. And this Friday night, he's going to have to even a score against Kamala. That's General Akbar's main gun. You see, Duggan's had some success. He's able to break loose the first couple of knots, but El Corsario did a great job in tying several knots throughout the turnbuckle. General Akbar is also making progress, and the race is on, and the excitement starts to grow, and the fans in the Coliseum start to become more restless with every second ticking away. They'd love to see Duggan break loose. Now, Dr. Death comes down to ringside. Akbar was clearly in trouble, and that's one way of getting out. Fortunately, that's not the legal way. Akbar had Dr. Death cut the rope. You can see his hand is tied. He's not in a very good position, but he's defending himself as best as possible, and that whip across the back by Akbar. Not just once, but over and over again. General Akbar, a master at taking advantage of situations where there's not exactly fair play involved. So Akbar now ripping across the face of Duggan, and it's tough to fight General Akbar, especially when you have one hand tied up. You can see Akbar pouring into Duggan. The ref trying to pull him away as they're into the ropes. But this was a no disqualification in A-train tough guy fight. And this is the danger of this tight match, is that when you're caught with your hand tied up, you're especially vulnerable to the attack of your opponent. So Akbar pouring into Duggan. He stays after Duggan. The referee trying to keep Akbar away so that since they're in the ropes, Duggan wasting little time trying to use every precious second he can battle to try to break that hand loose. And there it comes. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, much to the delight of the thousands and thousands of wrestling fans at the Coliseum, got that hand loose, and Akbar knew he was in trouble at this moment. Akbar's army, who were in the back of the Coliseum watching the match, also knew the general was in trouble, because Duggan, with both hands free, nobody can stop him. That's the prediction of Duggan's huge army of fans. We'll find out this Friday night inside the steel cage if Kamala can indeed stop Duggan. It's going to be the most savage battle of the fall season. Now Duggan now giving Akbar a little bit of his old medicine with that whip of his, and dries his fist. Keep in mind, in this A-train tough guy battle, there's no disqualifications. It's not your usual wrestling match. Duggan now enjoying the moment, enjoying the fact that he has got Akbar exactly where he wants him. A long, long search for this moment, and Duggan has found it. And Akbar now on the receiving end of the wrath of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And what a popular wrestler Duggan has become here at Houston Wrestling, one of the all-time greats. But that reign may come to an end this Friday night, because if Duggan loses, he has got to pack his bags. He likes it, or the fans like it, or the promoters of Houston Wrestling like it, Duggan will have to go. El Corsario now trying to come to the aid of their general. That's Zambui. But Hacksaw Duggan is taking care of business. And right now, the numbers are just too big. And Duggan trying his best to fight back. And El Corsario with that karate chop to the throat when Duggan was being held by Zambui. We've got El Corsario working on Duggan. We've got Zambui holding him and General Akbar holding him, as all three men tear into Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And as the injustice continues, Corsario, one driving slash after another, and into the ring comes the mysterious masked man. He popped out of the Coliseum crowd. No one saw him coming. He popped in there. He started to clear the ring. And he's got General Akbar begging for mercy. General Akbar cut open and bleeding. mercy, but Corsario quickly finding out that this masked man means business. And the masked man clears the ring. Akbar's out. El Corsario's out. Zambui's out. The battle is over. The fans are going crazy. The masked man made his debut. Is that the Midnight Rider? And who is the Midnight Rider? If that's the Midnight Rider, he's also going to be at the Coliseum this Friday night. The hand high five by Duggan to the masked man, as the masked man vowed for weeks that he was coming to Mid-South Wrestling to stop any injustice or the actions of General Akbar, and he was true to his promise. He must have been sitting there all night watching the wrestling matches, and when he thought the moment was right, he came to the aid of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. The Midnight Rider and Hacksaw Duggan the match, but this is the kind of excitement and explosive action we expect this Friday night at the Coliseum, because Duggan's going to battle inside a steel cage, and the Midnight Rider, if that was him, he is going to make his wrestling debut up against El Cosario. What a night for Houston wrestling action. Don't miss it. This Friday night, Sam Houston Coliseum, a night that you're going to talk about for a long, long time.
Network. I'm your host, Boyd Pierce, and we have a lot of exciting action coming up right here where I'm standing in the center of the ring. This is where the action will be as we see the new Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Wendell Cooley and Al Perez, take on superstar Bill Dundee, and from Oil Trough, Texas, Dirty Dutch Mantell. Jake the Snake is on the card, and also the fantastic Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton. They'll be right here this week on Mid-South Wrestling Television. We have had a very controversial situation come up involving the World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. So to bring you right up to date, we're going to go to the desk of the president of Mid-South Sports, Cowboy Bill Watts.
Well, I'm standing here, and I'm very privileged. I think I'm standing among three of the greatest athletes in wrestling today. You could go anywhere in the world, and you're not going to find three better competitors. But a very controversial situation. Ric Flair, the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, has sent an ultimatum to Mid-South. He has faced each one of these men, been taken to the wall, and I don't think he wants any more with either one of them. So he has said that the only person he will wrestle when he comes back to the Mid-South is the North American champion, that the North American champion is the #1 contender. Now, certainly being a North American champion for 7 years, I know how important this title is, and I know the pressure on you. And I also think that Ric Flair is trying to cloud the issue and avoid meeting anybody. He wants to create a war, and then he wants to try to pick off the survivor. Now, Butch, you came back to Mid-South with one goal in mind, to be the first black world's heavyweight champion. You've won the television title. You've taken Ric Flair right to the limit. Matter of fact, in New Orleans, such a controversial situation. Many people feel you're the underground world's heavyweight champion. What do you think of this new situation?
Well,
Whoa. Excuse me, Butch. Bill, you know yourself, no matter what sport you're in today, that you always talk to the champion first, and then you go ahead and talk to the challenger or the challengers. Now, go ahead and talk to me first.
That's right, Dickie. Excuse me. You are the North American champion. You've won that title. You're an international star. What do you think of this situation?
Well, Ric Flair is trying to dodge each and every one of us. But he said it fast. He said it right there. Right here is the issue. Right here is the North American Heavyweight Championship belt. I am the champion. I am the contender for the World's Heavyweight title, Butch. I'm sorry. You're a great wrestler, but I'm that much better. I'm the champion.
Well, Butch, again, the issue is the North American title. Flair's trying to make that the key issue.
well, you know Flair's trying to cause dissension, just like you said. But if it's got to be that way, for me to get to Ric Flair, to take on Dick Murdoch, and that's where it's got to be. That's where it's got to be, Murdoch. You the North American champion. I just have to take it. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute, tough guys. Oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan's been there too, fellas. So if you guys want to talk about competing with the world's champion, you don't put Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the back of any line, baby. I'm here. I'm standing tall.
As you can see with this crowd reaction, this could become a tremendously controversial situation. Ric Flair may have accomplished his goal. We'll be back with more Mid-South right after these exciting messages.
Wrestling one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first the team in the red corner at 234 pounds. From Oil Trough, Texas, Dirty Dutch Mantell. His partner weighs 204 pounds. From Melbourne, Australia, Superstar Bill Dundee. And their opponents, the current Mid-South Tag Team Champions at 237 pounds, from Tampa, Florida, Al Perez. And his partner at 235 pounds, from San Antonio, Texas, Wendell Wildcat Cooley.
As the introduction of this event on Mid-South, Superstar Bill Dundee and Dirty Dutch Mantell versus the popular duo that are new Mid-South Tag Team Champions at holding the belt, Al Perez and Wendell Cooley. In the ring now, Cooley and Superstar Bill Dundee. Here's Bill Watts.
Should be tremendously quick-paced bout because is sudden. So is Dutch Mantell, and so are the new champions. I want to thank Joel for another premier video, a great one. He'll be upcoming with one on Wendell Cooley shortly. I'm certain a lot of young ladies out there are going to wish they were the mystery lady that was in that video. Al Perez, tall, dark, and handsome. In some ways, a very mysterious young man. Superstar Dundee, who is in tremendous competition with the Fantastics. The Fantastics, of course, have captivated everybody's heart because they've got a lot of spirit, a lot of fight. We've got the first tag team match coming up next with the Humongous and the Barbarian team for the first time here on Mid-South Television. A great night, Boyd.
A tremendous match it should be, Bill. Big men, Humongous and the Barbarian.
The fans really giving Superstar Dundee a tough time. Cooley and Perez. Japanese arm drag take over into an arm bar by Perez. You see Shoe Baby, the infamous whip of Dirty Dutch Mantell, hanging in the corner there. Mantell to the hair. He keeps you attacking you, keeps the referee moving, wondering what he's going to do. The man is a thinking type tactician. Perez pulled him right off the rope so the referee wouldn't have to break the count, and he dropped that arm, carrying the attack to him. These are champions that say they're going to be wrestling champions. They're not going to back down from anybody. Of course, what's going to happen when Ted DiBiase, who was tremendously upset, he left the titles in the hands of Bruiser Bob Sweetan, the power of attorney, and Sweetan lost them. These guys have yet to have a final confrontation with Ted DiBiase. And I am not prejudiced in any way, but I'll say one thing. Ted DiBiase makes a lot of things happen.
Bill Dundee asking for timeout. At one time was a fan favorite here, but he changed his tactics, and the fans on Mid-South, one of the most knowledgeable people in the whole wide world, did not change their loyalty to him because they don't go for the unruly tactics.
I don't think Perez saw that tag made behind him. Dundee, a real experienced man. He and Dutch Mantell have been in battles against each other. They've been with each other in the past, so they've got maybe as much teamwork as the champions. Quick tag. Mantell taking advantage of Perez. Excuse me, not Perez. Wendell Cooley. That kick is legal with the flat of the foot, but it's right to the face. Very painful. Dundee takes every advantage he can. High knee drop by Mantell. Wendell Cooley's in some trouble. Followed it up with an elbow drop to the lung area behind. Also the positioning that Wendell Cooley had could create some real problems for his ribs. Dutch Mantell. These guys are a pretty well-oiled machine, Boyd.
They certainly are. And
Mantell for the count. Cooley barely able to get out. They've got Cooley in a lot of trouble. They've kept him isolated out there.
Perez wants in so badly.
Dundee and Mantell a master at shading the rules and keeping the referee out of position. Dundee really punishing Wendell Cooley. Body slam. Cooley managed to get out for that elbow. Cooley's got to make a tag. He has Perez. Perez connected to that terrific right. Al Perez has a tremendous right hand. When he hits you, it puts you on Green Street, and he has really put it to good use. Drop kick is like a cat. Tommy Gilbert got caught behind that one. Perez, that right hand firing away. Watch out. Mantell's got you, baby. And he used the handle of that whip and cracks Perez across the head. He's putting the boots to Perez. Cooley's going for that whip. Cooley got the whip. Dundee didn't get it. Dundee's going up on the top rope behind him. He's going to get... Cooley whipped Dundee, and now he's going for Dutch. Belly back suplex. Enough said. These guys are the Mid-South champions. What fighting hearts they've got.
They certainly are, and Al Perez and Wendell Cooley, tremendous amount of action, and it'll continue after this word from the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
He has loaded that foreign object into the mask, and he pounds Jake the Snake with it. Jake the Snake going limp, but he's still on his feet. 3 times he hit Jake.
He held him up there. There's no doubt about it. He's got something in that mask. Here comes Eddie Gilbert. You can hear Eddie Gilbert protesting to the official. He has something in his mask. Jake Roberts has been lacerated, ladies and gentlemen, from those headbutts. And now look.
The Nightmare's handing that foreign object back to Sir Oliver Humperdinck. Whatever it was, it's going to be hard for Carl Fergie to find out about it at this point in time. A key move on the part of the Nightmare. He has really got Jake the Snake Roberts in a deep, deep predicament.
Well, Eddie Gilbert, the former manager of the Nightmare, until he was fired and Humperdinck replaced him, he knows the strategy. DDT!
It's a DDT. The fans are going wild. Jake the Snake with a lateral press. 2. Yeah!
The people are standing. Roberts, he came back and he's severely lacerated, and he's going for the mask.
Jim, he knows there was something in that mask.
He took it off.
He got it. And Eddie Gilbert has got a hold of Humongous. Humongous trying to get into the ring. Jake the Snake Roberts has got Sir Oliver Humperdinck in the ring. Here goes Humongous. He's coming over that top rope. Jake the Snake throws the Nightmare out. Here goes the Barbarian.
Yes, sir. Now the sides are even. This is what they've been waiting for. These two big monsters staring each other down. Humperdinck was brought to the ring. They're standing.
Jake the Snake has got the score even now, but Humperdinck motioning towards Jake the Snake. What's happened? What is happening? The Barbarian is attacking his team partner.
The Barbarian, Humongous, there goes the referee. Humperdinck is instructed to do what they're doing. They're trying to annihilate Jake the Snake Roberts, and they're doing it.
He's got him up. Oh! A clothesline off the second rope. Jake the Snake Roberts is in very bad danger.
They're trying.
They are coming to ringside.
Mid-South Wrestling, one fall with a 10-minute.
Nobody introduces these guys but me. The team that said nobody could put together, I put together the most awesome combination today. The Barbarian and Humongous.
And their opponents at a combined weight of 455 pounds, Jimmy Backlund and Ken Glover. One fall, 10-minute time limit.
Tag team action now. The men that we've been watching and talking about from the stable of Sir Oliver Humperdinck, Humongous and the Barbarian. They take on Ken Glover and Jimmy Backlund. Backlund's in now. So is Humongous, Bill.
I'm just so impressed by the physical size and the agility of these two. Humongous. Oh, Jimmy Backlund was just decapitated. Humongous has been unstoppable. Jimmy Backlund just got annihilated. Ken Glover tries to come into the rescue. Body slam. Humongous just tagged the Barbarian. The Barbarian climbing to the second rope. He launches himself. Look at that. He annihilates. He doesn't care if he's hurt. He has no regard for his own personal safety. Now Humongous is throwing Jimmy Backlund back into the ring. It's going to be hard to find opponents for these guys. Humperdinck is directing this trap. Watch this move. Oh! We've seen the same move happen to Jake the Snake.
Humongous taking him down, and the Barbarian sealing the win. Big, big men, Bill Watts, and they gain a victory, much to the delight of Sir Oliver Humperdinck. And we'll be right back after this word from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
All with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the red corner at 230 pounds from Alabama, Paul Brown. His opponent in the blue corner at 250 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, the man with a DDT, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Paul Brown in the long blue tights being introduced, and as Jake the Snake was introduced by Jim Ross, he was brought to the ring by the chant of the fans, DDT for Jake the Snake. Tommy Gilbert calls for the bell. Bill's ready.
Well, I know Jake the Snake, well-seasoned veteran. He was so shook up by what happened last week. And I'm certainly reliving it by the monitor. He's still a little bit in shock. But Jake the Snake knows you can't cry over spilled milk. You got to get out and get at him. You can't let him intimidate you. Jake the Snake, 6'5", has a tremendous amount of height and leverage. Got a tremendous knee lift. And he also has one thing that he's perfected beyond any other that can measure any man that it drops, and that's the DDT. The crowd's calling for the DDT. The crowd's calling for the DDT. Jake's hooking it up, and he just dropped him. Paul Brown is on Dream Street, and Jake won. The Barbarian and Humongous stands alone. Who will be his partner, Boyd?
I don't know, and that's the end of Paul Brown. Jake the Snake winning on the DDT, and we have more excitement coming up when we...
Pairing. A lot of mental preparation. Oh! He hit Eddie Gilbert with a judo chop, but you can hear all over the building. Fergie has called for the bell. Carl Fergie has called for the bell. That karate kick caught Gilbert right in the throat. It caught him right in the throat.
He is attacking Gilbert. Gilbert has not even been unable to get out of the blocks. He's applying some kind of a hold to the neck of Gilbert. Look.
He chops the neck, and now he's got that claw. That claw right on the neck. The referee's calling for the bell.
Crimson around the mouth of Eddie Gilbert.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the referee's calling for the bell, but Eddie Gilbert has been hurt, and I mean hurt bad. El Corsario.
El Corsario continuing to attack.
Eddie Gilbert didn't get it out of the starting blocks, and he needs some help. Eddie Gilbert, now the referee goes down. Those vicious chops. El Corsario is a walking weapon.
We're trying to get some help down here. This could really be dangerous for Eddie Gilbert. He's continuing to put the chokehold on him, even after. There's Mark Ragin, he's in, but there's not much you can do against this man.
Here come the Fantastics. El Corsario, General Skandor Akbar are heading for higher ground. with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner, accompanied by his manager, General Skandor Akbar, at 236 pounds from Puerto Rico, El Corsario. His opponent from Chattanooga, Tennessee, 230 pounds, Pat Rose.
General Skandor Akbar in the ring again with his protege from Puerto Rico, the man that you viewed earlier, El Corsario, and he takes on Pat Rose from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Akbar, a man who always seems to find people that have a hatred of this country. And look at the pompousness of Akbar as he puffs on that Havana, Cuba cigar. I just have a hard time staying unbiased and without prejudice in this situation. El Corsario, tremendous athlete, a black belt in the martial arts, a man with a devastating savate kick or thrust kick, a man that's a member of what is considered by many to be a terrorist organization. We don't know the ties of Akbar. We know he comes from a part of the country where terrorism thrives, where there'll never be rest. Body slam. If he'd have hit him with that one, he would have taken his head off. Pat Rose wisely ducking, catching his feet. But this man is a lethal weapon, very agile. Oh, he caught him with that thrust kick. He annihilated him. Dangerous man.
Well, you watch his hands, he gets you with his feet. To the delight of General Skandor Akbar, El Corsario takes a measure of Pat Rose. We'll return after this word from the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
Time limit. Introducing first corner at 269 pounds from Oklahoma University, Steve Dr. Death Williams. His opponent weighs 285 pounds from the state of Tennessee, Carl Stiles.
Big Carl Stiles going in against Dr. Death Steve Williams. One fall, 10-minute time limit. Tommy Gilbert waits for Jim Ross to clear the ring. There's the bell.
We'll have the Fantastics coming up next, so stay tuned for this exciting hour of Mid-South Wrestling. Two super heavyweights, 285 pounds, Carl Stiles, who bench presses over 500 pounds, and of course, four-time All-American. Two-time Big 8 champion, both in football and in wrestling. Dr. Death Steve Williams, a man who used to weigh 310 pounds but has trimmed down to a lean, mean 269 pounds. Ted DiBiase is back in the country. Says he'll make his first appearance in 2 weeks here on Mid-South Wrestling on television. Next week, Dr. Death Williams will go against Captain Riddick, Dick Murdoch, for the North American title. Be sure to tune in. Don't miss that one.
That should be a tremendous battle, Bill. A tremendous battle.
Well, I want to say one thing. Dr. Death is controversial, is tough. He gives no quarter and he asks none. But he's an athlete. He's an athlete. About this time last year, he and Hacksaw Jim Duggan were having some matches in full football gear, helmet and all, full pads, where they took the ring ropes down, and it just went to one of them was knocked out of the ring. And let me tell you, anybody in the National Football League could take lessons from intensity and desire and brutal, just brutal one-on-one in the pits. Those two guys were somebody you didn't want to face across that line. Elbow drop. Bruiser Bob Sweetan left in power of attorney in charge of the Mid-South Tag titles. DiBiase in Japan, a multinational businessman. And Sweetan and Doc, some say, upset by Cooley and Perez. I will admit that day that certainly Sweetan and Doc had the Snake and Barbarian on their mind. But irregardless, they lost those titles. Doc's got him up for the Oklahoma Stampede. And Carl Stiles, handled like a mere child, even though he weighs 285, can now get a taste of just what it feels when you go up against a machine that's been trained from childhood to be a tremendous, dominating athlete.
And talking about machines, don't go away. Coming up, tag team action, Larry Clark and Jerry Gray against the fabulous Fantastics when we return right after this word.
Or television time remaining. A combined weight of 451 pounds in the red corner. The team of Larry Clark and Jerry Gray. weight of 415 pounds, from the City of Angels, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastics.
As they need no introduction, Bill, as you see them come to the ring, being just catapulted by the fans there, reaching out and grabbing them. They love them. It's Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastics, against Larry Clark and Jerry Gray. Jerry Gray's in the ring now. Paul Fergie's calling for the bell and leaving Bobby Fulton to represent the Fantastic team.
Well, one thing I like about the Fantastics is they've become big stars because the people have backed them, but they haven't forgotten the people. They take all the time in the world and spend time with their fans, as you see when they come to the ring. They welcome everybody. And, you know, you can love them or like them, but they're an exciting team. They're a dynamic team. Dundee, of course, doesn't like Bobby Fulton. There's no love lost there. Dirty Dutch Mantell. Tommy Rogers, explosive. Almost his whole body looks like a coiled spring. He's always just so dynamic. Japanese arm drag, he's so quick. Bobby Fulton. A lot of teamwork. These youngsters saw the Rock and Roll Express get catapulted to international stardom right here on Mid-South. And they've come right after them because they believe, like everybody else, that Mid-South is where you got to prove yourself to get the recognition of the whole world. If you check the stars around the world, you've been fortunate to see them all come here and prove themselves. This is the toughest wrestling in the world today. The most intense competition. These guys are quick.
The ability and the agility of Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton gives the Fantastics another great victory, Bill.
Well, you know, boy, this has been exciting today. We want to thank you all for joining us.
In the ring, weighing in at 320 pounds from parts on, the Barbarian. His opponent outside the ring at 245 pounds from Stone Mountain. the Snake Roberts.
You're looking at Jake the Snake Roberts, the man whose hold the DDT has caught on like wildfire with Mid-South wrestling fans and Houston fans. And right now, he is tearing into former partner and friend, Barbarian. And this match, you're not going to see very many wrestling holds. You're going to see a wild free-for-all. And Jake the Snake is not disappointing fans the least bit. And the fans are already starting to chant, DDT, DDT. That's the hold. That's the maneuver that Jake the Snake uses to send his opponents to the hospital, back to the dressing room, whatever. It's sending him in the direction of defeat. DDT, DDT, echoes throughout the Coliseum as Jake the Snake Roberts, the past couple of months, have quickly found himself a big favorite with Houston wrestling fans because they know when he steps inside the ring, they're in to witness a tremendous battle. Roberts falls outside through the ropes. The Barbarian, not known for his wrestling style, but more known for his devastating attack, wastes little time in following Jake the Snake right out to the Coliseum floor as they battle inside the barricades. Your referee for this match, and he's got a tough assignment, is Carl Fergie. My name is Peter Burkholz, and this is one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Barbarian, big, strong, vicious. Whatever he lacks in style, he's up in plain toughness and rugged ability. Jake the Snake, on the other hand, is a seasoned veteran, a man who knows how to handle himself inside the ring, a man whose DDT could end a match and end it in just a matter of seconds. Barbarian goes up and lands with that guillotine drop, and we could find the Barbarian a quick winner. One right after another, those huge swings. Barbarian's on top. We've got two, but that's all we have as Jake the Snake lifts up that left shoulder just in the nick of time. Barbarian setting him up, follows through with that elbow, finding its mark. This is what the Barbarian is so good at, is punishing his opponents. The unique hairstyle Barbarian goes along with his unorthodox style. A man with a lot of power. A man who doesn't care what he has to do when he gets inside the ring, as long as it ensures victory. Jake the Snake now on the receiving end, as we have seen through the weeks. Jake the Snake's ability to take punishment, and that ability to take punishment is being tested to the utmost by the Barbarian right now. Arm stretch as he pushes that right boot of his right into the side of the head of Roberts. Barbarian now, quickly now, opening minutes of this match, trying to gain some kind of control over the Snake. Remember, just months ago, this Jake the Snake and the Barbarian formed one of the most devastating tag teams in wrestling. And when they split up, they've split up with a vengeance. Go, Jake, go. Go, Jake, go. Is a chant you hear in the background by the thousands and thousands of wrestling fans. And it's that chant that seems to inspire Roberts, but he still hasn't been able to turn the tide. And that clothesline by Barbarian silenced the crowd along with Roberts. 1, 2, but no 3. Still plenty of time left, a 30-minute time limit. Barbarian now setting him up and goes at that bear hug, and Barbarian's got that strength to squeeze a victory right out of Jake the Snake. Carl Fergie staying close, firing the question to the Snake. Fans in the Coliseum as Jake has developed a huge following here in Houston. That is one way out of that hold, and that's a way, I mentioned before, Jake the Snake's ring experience it's going to have to pay off in this match if he expects to have a chance up against the Barbarian. Barbarian continues to pour it in. Remember, Houston Wrestling does return to the Sam Houston Coliseum Friday, October 11th, starting at 8 p.m., and that's the same night that World Heavyweight Champion Nature Boy Ric Flair will see action against Hacksaw Butch Reed. We are more than 5 minutes deep in this match. The Barbarian putting the squeeze to Jake the Snake Roberts, as these two men out to settle their score. Former tag team partners, former friends. Now they've decided to each go their own way, and they found when they decided that they couldn't help but cross paths. And when you cross paths, there's only one way to settle it, and that's inside the ropes. Again, the Houston wrestling fans start to chant, "Go, Jake, go. Go, Jake, go." You can see what Jake was trying to do was squeeze one of his arms in to try to eliminate some of the pressure. That well-placed thumb of his may not win any awards for wrestling by the books, but that's probably the last thing Jake had on his mind. And a driving knee lift. As the fans here now start to come to life, now they want to see Jake the Snake unleash like they've seen him so many times. DDT, DDT's now the champ. These wrestling fans know what happens. Once DDT's applied, the opponent doesn't come back. And Jake the Snake unleashes, whether it's a left or a right. He's got fans standing up, and that time, Carl Fergie goes down. The full Nelson's applied. Jake the Snake has got to get out of this hold, and quick. Barbarian's got that strength that he can squeeze Jake the Snake right into unconsciousness. Jake now rearing back. Carl Fergie, a little bit groggy, gets caught again. As both men are down, Barbarian slowly but surely rising. Jake the Snake still down, feeling the effects of that full Nelson. Into the ropes, but once again, Jake was able to outsmart him. Goes to the DDT, there it is, the DDT. Barbarian is down, he is down, and we've got Humongous. We've got Humongous in the ring, and now Jake the Snake catching it from both ends, and a driving headbutt by Humongous. Humongous, part of the new alliance between the Barbarian and Humongous. And Jake the Snake's head is cut open from that mask of Humongous. Our match is still hasn't officially ended yet. But Jake the Snake now feeling the attack of not one man, not two, but all three. As the Barbarian and Humongous, the new alliance that may turn Mid-South Wrestling upside down, under the guidance of Sir Humperdinck and Carl Fergie calling for the bell. Jake the Snake battered and bloodied up by these men. That's Jake the Snake. So Jake the Snake Roberts, the winner of the match by disqualification, but he did slap the DDT on the Barbarian. And we'll be back with more Houston wrestling action in just one moment.
10-minute time limit, a tag team match. In the red corner from parts unknown, the Nightmare. And his team partner from Orlando, Florida, Jerry Gray. And across the ring, the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Al Perez and Wildcat Wendell Cooley.
Tag team action, ladies and gentlemen. Here on Mid-South Wrestling, Tommy Gilbert, the official for this match, as assigned by matchmaker Grizzly Smith. Mid-South Tag Team Champions in the ring, going against Jerry Gray and an unmasked Nightmare. Our first appearance to see him without his mask.
Of course, 2 weeks ago, right here on Mid-South Wrestling, Jake the Snake Roberts unmasked him in a match that had several complications. But I don't think, without the mask, I don't think it changes his wrestling style one single bit. There's Jerry Gray with a hip toss on Wendell Cooley. Cooley back up quickly, and he reverses it in kind. Whoa, a couple of high hip tosses. Gray really feeling the sting of the canvas there. From one half of the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Wendell Cooley. Gray with the tag into the Nightmare.
With or without the mask, Joe, he's a big, powerful man, around 280 pounds. There's a tag, so it's going to be Al Perez and the Nightmare. Our first battle here today on Mid-South Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross along with Joel Watts. We certainly appreciate you being with us.
I noticed over there in the corner. Whoa, Perez with that big right cross. He says the Nightmare staggering. Nightmare fired a shot into the midsection there. Both men coming off the ropes. Perez, Cooley. Oh, beautiful drop kick. Beautiful drop kick. Did you see the way Perez set that up? That was so smooth and quick. I noticed that Cooley and Perez were over there talking during a brief interlude. They're apparently discussing some of their strategy. Perez looked as if he had something in mind for the Nightmare, and apparently it worked out quite well. These two men seeming to get it together in their tag team strategy and cooperation. Of course, they were great to begin with, and that's why they're the Mid-South Tag Team Champions. They put down the one-man gang and Kareem Muhammad in a match recently that astounded everyone. It was a fantastic victory for these two young competitors. There, Cooley with the arm bar on the Nightmare. Nightmare up to a base and a hard forearm. Cooley's going to have to keep distance from this big man. Beautiful toss.
Cooley high in the air. Oh, my goodness. Cooley, that was definitely a high-risk maneuver. And boy, he came right down over the top turnbuckle. Joe, he could be severely hurt right now. The Nightmare not wasting any time.
He most certainly could, Jim. He really took a severe blow from that top turnbuckle. Cooley is in deep, deep trouble right now. This could be a big predicament. Look at how vicious. The Nightmare has always been vicious and calculating. You can see the meanness and viciousness in his face without that mask. Gray continuing to choke using the foot. But you see, he's still got Cooley in his half of the ring.
That was a karate thrust to the throat. Jerry Gray taking some liberties with Wendell Cooley. Cooley has really taken a setback from that blow he took to the top turnbuckle, and the tag team champions going to have to really get it together here.
Perez on the outside of the ring, cheering his partner on. Cooley has been in big trouble ever since he took that blow from the top turnbuckle. Cooley fighting back now. Jerry Gray is a highly improved wrestler, and he certainly knows how to kick it in gear when the momentum is in his favor. And right now he's exhibiting great tag team strategy with the Nightmare in keeping Wendell Cooley in their half of the ring. The Nightmare back in. He will obviously try to add to the punishment of Wendell Cooley, and there he goes for a power slam, but no, he uses that top rope.
That Nightmare is certainly one strong individual. He's been taking it to Wendell Cooley. As I said once before, Cooley has not on track since that tremendous blow he took to the top turnbuckle. And Al Perez pacing very nervously on his side of the ring. Now he's ready to get in the ring.
I'll tell you something about Wendell Cooley, though. He has really surprised me in a lot of situations. He has shown so much heart and so much fire when he's in a predicament. It's tough to put the man's shoulders down. Cooley with that rear chin lock.
He's a tough cowboy from San Antonio, Texas. Great condition, as is his partner, Al Perez, but Cooley needs to make the tag. He's getting close.
Gray back up with those hard forearms across the neck, and now he's using blatant right crosses to the forehead. Tommy Gilbert engaged with the Nightmare, trying to put him out. Gilbert breaks that chokehold there. Back to that rear chin lock. Jerry Gray controlling the head of Wendell Cooley and thus controlling the body. Al Perez really reaching for that tag.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have two other great tag team matches coming your way as Wendell Cooley's reaching down. He's reaching down and coming right back with Jerry Gray. He pulled the tights. He had the official out of position, which they get so adept at, Joel.
Cooley has got such a great fighting heart. I honestly believe he would have extricated himself from that rear chin lock had Jerry Gray not used the tights. Cooley slowly fighting back up to the base. Fighting and fighting with that top wrist lock. Extremely painful hold. They're back to their feet, but Gray is in a strategic position once again because he's got Cooley in his half of the ring, and the Nightmare is back in to do some more damage. Nightmare with a hard arm whip.
Oh, Cooley with a kick, and this could be it. This could be the break he needed. He got his distance from the Nightmare. He got the distance, and he managed to make the impact, and yes, he gets the tag. He gets the tag, and now Al Perez is in. Jerry Gray keeping his distance from him. Perez connects with a forearm, a hard right cross, and brother, he can hurt you with those right crosses. He comes off the ropes, and a hard forearm. Down goes Gray. Down goes Gray. The Nightmare goes for a right cross. What a suplex! Belly to back suplex for Jerry Gray.
Well, Jerry Gray's the legal man in the ring. I saw the tag, and Wendell Cooley's in there now. We've got all four of these men in the ring. The Nightmare's going for the pile driver.
What teamwork! Double drop kick. Jerry Gray gets elevated way into the lights. He goes to the lights, and Cooley and Perez have given their favor now. Bulldog headlock.
Wildcat Wendell Cooley with a bulldog headlock. 1, 2, and 3. And the Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Al Perez and Wendell Wildcat Cooley, victorious here on Mid-South Wrestling, and we'll be back with Hacksaw Butch Reed right after this.
10-minute time limit. In the red corner at 227 pounds, Paul Brown. And across the ring, the Mid-South Television Champion from Kansas City, Hacksaw Butch Reed. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Boy, Joel, Butch Reed looks to be in superb condition. What a phenomenal athlete our television champion is, and there's a bell that signifies action. Paul Brown against a world-class athlete, Hacksaw Butch Reed, and he is definitely, Joel, on the title trail.
He most certainly is, Joe. And last week, some startling developments. An announcement from Ric Flair. Whoa, look at that forearm. An announcement from Ric Flair that, in essence, he said that he would only take on the North American champion for that World's Heavyweight title here in the Mid-South. Reed, the TV champion, definitely considered a top contender. But it looks as if that North American title is standing, the only thing that's standing between he and the World Championship. And a lot of people feel that he should be the World's Heavyweight champion after his match with Nature Boy Ric Flair. There they go to the ropes. Reed still on the armbar and twist. And brother, there are not many people that can pull out of an armbar and twist when he's got those big guns wrapped around you, I guarantee you.
Well, I agree with that wholeheartedly. He's a fascinating athlete, no doubt about it. He really took Ric Flair to the limits as Paul Brown now trying to come back on Hacksaw Butch Reed.
High elevation. Reed up to the second rope now. Oh! What a clothesline. Reed closed him, and that should be it, but Reed is saying it's not over. Reed has got a point to prove, I think.
Gorilla Slam. Look at him hold him. Look at him hold him. Hacksaw Butch Reed, the Gorilla Slam, and Paul Brown. Down 1, 2, and 3. There you see a tremendous athlete, the television champion, Hacksaw Butch Reed. And we'll be back with Humongous and the Barbarian in tag team action after this for the Mid-South Network.
Tag team match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner.
Wait a minute. The team that's going to make everybody in Mid-South sit back and take a good look. The team of the Barbarian and the one and only Humongous.
And across the ring, the duo in the blue corner, the team of Steve Constance and Tim Ashley. Your referee, Tommy Gilbert.
Well, Constance and Ashley, the bell. They've attacked the match. The referee is calling for the bell, and we're going to sound it. Joel, these two big men are opening up on Constance and Ashley.
Jim, this has got to be the strongest team in professional wrestling today. No question about it. And they are completely annihilating Constance and Ashley, a pair of men that are extremely powerful themselves, but they're up against so much brute strength, and look at that! My goodness!
These men are big, and they are awesome, and Humperdinck has them under his control. No more devastating team in wrestling, and you're seeing them now. And they're throwing bodies all over the Irish Wendell Boys Club.
Humongous is down near the steel railing. It's in Constance, but you hear the roar of the crowd. Jake the Snake Roberts has entered the ring. He has entered the scene, and he has really put the punishment to the Barbarian. He goes for the arm whip. Reversal. Oh! Jake the Snake catches him with a knee. Clothesline. The fans are on their feet, Jim.
We've got people standing, and Jake the Snake Roberts now. It's going to be 2-on-1, and Jake the Snake Roberts, the Barbarian and Humongous both on this Betty.
Oh, that face mask, he hit him right in the kidney, and now with a headbutt with that face mask. Out goes Carl Fergie over the top rope. Humongous is so powerful. Now it's Barbarian and Humongous, and once again Jake the Snake Roberts is at the mercy of both of these men. And they are so brutal, Humperdinck urging them on.
They're trying to put Jake Roberts out permanently. They've lacerated him. Referee, time to get with the manhandle referees and wrestlers. This crowd is standing. Jake Roberts is in severe trouble. His career is on the line right here.
Gosh, these men are just brutalizing Jake Roberts. They have really opened a severe laceration on Roberts' head. We have got to get some order restored in this situation. Humongous continuing to brutalize Jake the Snake Roberts with that face mask. You hear the roar of the crowd. You hear the roar of the crowd, and Jake the Snake has got some help. He has got some help in the form of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and he's got a steel chair. He has got a steel chair.
Hacksaw Duggan standing them off. Hacksaw Duggan has brought the furniture in the ring. And Jake Roberts is in deep trouble, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll be back. We'll get some order restored here, and we'll be back right after this.
Time limit of 10 minutes. In the red corner, Bruiser Bob Sweetan. And across the ring from West Jefferson, Alabama, in the blue corner, Ken Glover. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
One time limit, Bruiser Bob Sweetan and Ken Glover. As we sound the bell, Bruiser Bob Sweetan, 285 pounds from Round Rock, Texas. And Joel, no doubt about this statement I'm about to make, he is as tough as they come.
Oh, certainly, Jim. He is a tough, brutal competitor. Very vicious, very calculating. And he can turn it on and really put the pain to you when he wants to. I'll tell you, this crowd is still buzzing over what we just saw with the Humongous and the Barbarian attacking. Whoa! Attacking Jake the Snake Roberts. I'll tell you, Jim, I think Jake the Snake with the DDT has got a chance against either one of them in single competition, but against both of them, I don't believe there's anybody in wrestling that can stand their ground against the two of them. I know there are a few people that are considering helping Jake the Snake in this situation.
Very few people, Joel, not saying anything disrespectful, that would want to get in the ring with the Barbarian Humongous.
Most certainly not. Jake the Snake is extremely courageous.
Bruiser Bob Sweetan, ladies and gentlemen, former Brass Knucks champion, and I must say at this time, in all the years that the Brass Knucks title was in effect, two men come to my mind as the toughest Brass Knucks champion. First and foremost, the big cowboy, Cowboy Bill Watts, Brass Knucks champion, but Bruiser Bob Sweetan, in my mind, ranks right up there as one of the toughest men ever to hold the Brass Knucks championship. He has really been manhandling Ken Glover here on Mid-South Wrestling. Don't forget, coming up, North American title on the line as Ken Glover's trying to mount an attack on Bruiser Bob Sweetan.
He got a little momentum with those forearms, but Bruiser Bob Sweetan quickly turns the tide back in his favor with a hard kick off those ropes. He sets him up and fires him off. Whoa!
He buried that right hand deep into the midsection of Ken Glover, and Bruiser Bob Sweetan going the ropes. Sweetan with that knee right across the chest, 285 pounds. That should be all for Ken Glover. Carl Fergie counts 3, and ladies and gentlemen, when we return, it'll be Dick Murdoch defending the North American title against Dr. Death right after this.
Television time remaining for the North American Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first in the red corner, the challenger from Oklahoma University, Dr. Death, Steve Williams. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner.
Hey, I just want to say something. I'm here to take on the winner of this match, and that's all I got to say.
Butch, if that's all you got to say, get on out of here and sit down.
And across the ring, the North American Heavyweight title holder from Waxahachie, Texas, Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch. Your referee, Tommy Gilbert.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the North American title on the line here in our television main event here on Mid-South Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross, along with Joel Watts. Once again, thanks very much for being with us. It's going to be Steve Dr. Death Williams challenging Dick Murdoch for the North American title. Hacksaw Butch Reed, you heard him. He made a challenge to the winner. Butch Reed will be taking a seat outside the ring, and Bruiser Bob Sweetan is also an interested observer. Tag team partner of Dr. Death, Steve Williams. North American title on the line, one fall or television time remaining here on Mid-South.
Dr. Death in quick with a beautiful fireman's carry. He takes Murdoch down to the mat. This should be a classic confrontation. Murdoch with the edge of experience. Dr. Death with it. Whoa! Nice fireman's carry on the part of Dick Murdoch as well.
Of course, Dick Murdoch, 272 pounds from Waxahachie, a proud Texan. I know he's a loyal follower of the Texas Longhorn football team. Of course, Dr. Death Steve Williams played football at the University of Oklahoma. I think enough said in that situation. It is a battle of the Red River. And the stakes are even more higher than that, of course, for the North